WMDX, 92.7 FM and 1580 AM. Social media diet as well, and you can pick us up on the Civic Media app. You can text us or give us a call just like that, and throw your 2 cents in if you'd like. This is a very special day for us. This is the John and Gordy Centennial and a Half edition of the Family Show.
Wait a minute. Centennial and a half.
That's right. 150 shows already. They said it couldn't happen.
Episode number 150? Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
I know.
What is today? The 30th? It is, right?
Yes.
So we started exactly 7 months ago, October 30th, November, December,
Just
January.
believe Sam. He's already calculated this whole damn thing. What, now you're going to recalculate and see if we're wrong?
He's going to count to 150 right now.
Right now. Yeah, could you?
Oh, yeah. I remember show 47. That was a big one.
Well, I know. I thought we hit the peak there.
Yeah. Way back going to number 31. That was a really good show.
Well, I think 67 just fell flat.
Yeah,
and
not up to our high standards. Yeah, so congratulations, I guess. What? 150 shows. That's good. Yeah,
our T-shirts are the John and Gordy Show for Guest Show 67.
Oh yeah.
All right,
it's been good. It's a good deal.
It has been. It has been. We've morphed and we've changed and we've added things. We added Short Stack Eatery.
Yeah,
to our repertoire.
That's right.
We invite people down there. Yeah, first person that comes in usually that says hello to us, gets a free breakfast.
Right.
Half breakfast.
Half breakfast. Yeah. Well, it's a good day to celebrate. We've got beautiful sunshine this morning, 51 degrees. Shall we roll the weather roulette wheel? No.
Oh yeah.
You don't want to do that?
Yeah, I want to find out what the temperature high today is going to be.
Let's do it.
Let's see what happens. Because this is what makes the show. That's why we've made it to the Centennial and a Half edition.
The high temperature today, 72.
Yeah.
With beautiful sunshine through most of the day, maybe a few clouds here and there.
It's going to be kind of cool here in the morning.
Yes, 51 right now, but some of the temperatures out there in the 40s.
Yeah,
around the area. A little chilly for this time of year.
We drove to the station here, and we passed State Street, right next to the Short Stack Eatery.
Yeah.
Across the street, they're photographing some classic vehicles, 3 of them. They're right on the corner.
Yeah.
And they're beautiful, beautiful vehicles.
Don't know what the occasion is. I'm not sure, but
yeah they're hot classics.
Yeah.
Definitely, I don't know. They're probably souped up, but I can't really tell.
Yeah.
And I think it's a photo session. I don't think it's a show. And I think Sam and I were talking about it, and we remember some kind of classic car show down on State Street, I think, at one time. Maybe they have one every year.
I'd hope they do one every year. I like going to car shows.
I think it's a great idea. If they don't have it, they should at least start one.
Yeah.
Right? And I was thinking to myself, all these students see these classic hot rod vehicles down there, right? I mean, souped up classics, Mustangs and GTOs. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, they weren't part of that generation. They didn't know that the wheels meant you had your kingdom. This was your ride.
King of the road.
Yes, the whole thing, you were free. This was your is your way of being
Ticket to
free.
Freedom, yeah.
Seeing America, in a USA and a Chevrolet, right?
That's right.
And no one grew up with that. So they're looking at these cars thinking, well, who cares? I've got my motorized scooter. And I'm going to go to work forever on my motorized scooter.
Uh-huh. No, those cars look great.
Yeah.
I mean, top notch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they have to, I hope they're blaring the old car hot rod music that came out back then. Jan and Dean, the Beach Boys, a whole bunch of different groups. The GTOs.
The GTOs, yeah. Mm-hmm. They always usually had great sound systems in them. You want to put the best.
Yeah.
Spend a fortune on the sound system.
So that AM radio can sound as good as it can.
You know what? You're right.
Yeah, that's right.
It did sound good. Now, if you detuned the radio station just a little because it was a dial, you could get the highs on AM. You didn't have that.
Get the highs.
Everything was
treble,
crushed.
The king of fidelity.
Yeah.
Right.
You could mess with it a little bit, yeah.
It was very compressed.
Yes, extremely compressed.
In fact, they used to mix the music, like the Stones used to mix their music to AM radio.
Sure.
What it sounded
Just
like on
a small
AM.
speaker, yeah.
And then, of course, now they had to remix everything in order to be stereo.
Right?
Yeah.
Those were the days.
Yeah, that's true. And last night, my son celebrated his 22nd birthday.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It cost me an arm and a leg.
Why did it cost so much?
Well, we went out for sushi.
Yeah.
And I have a big complaint about sushi because I love the stuff. I can't explain what's in it, and I don't want to know what's in it, but it does taste really, really good. And my son said, it's because they don't include the fish skin on it. It's very fishy if you have the skin. And I the big complaint that I have is that you have to eat each roll all at once.
That's
you
it?
Can't take a bite off
Why
of
not?
it because it comes apart.
Oh,
It's
it all
just rolled
falls up-
together because it's rolled with rice. And if they just made them smaller so you could chew them and enjoy maybe more bites of it instead of just taking a big mouthful. Folks, please, ask these people that run these
John,
sushi
you like
restaurants.
to cook. Why don't you get into the sushi business?
Yeah. Well, I could.
You could
Really?
make
You?
like little bite-sized sushi. You could sell it
that's it right
frozen in a bag at the grocery store.
See,
Why
he's
not?
got it. He's got the title right there, Bite-Sized Sushi. That's my shop.
Rolls
That's
right
the
off the
shop
tongue,
I'm going to definitely Bite-Sized Sushi.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's going to be your path to a fortune.
Find an opening on State Street someplace. I'm sure people will be rushing in. Finally, they can eat a sushi roll without having just, difficulty swallowing.
You like sushi, do you?
Yeah.
Sam, do you like sushi?
I've only had it once or twice, but
Yeah.
it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It's not,
I'm not a fan. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
No, don't like it. Yeah. Sorry. Pass.
Is it what? Fish taste? Or what is it?
Raw, right?
Yeah, it's raw, but
that's
see,
disgusting.
it's
disgusting.
You're thinking about the
I
fact that
hate
it's
it.
raw, and that's why you
I've
don't
had
like
it a few times.
Have you ever had a
it.
cannibal sandwich?
Yeah, but you don't eat meat raw anymore.
I mean, I know some people that still eat them raw.
Just asking
I've
for
never
trouble.
had one, but
Well, in Wisconsin, it was very big.
Right,
And
right.
What is it, tartar or whatever they call it? But right?
Right.
well, it's
that's
raw,
what they.
raw hamburger.
Just
with
raw
onions.
Raw hamburger. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a big thing in Wisconsin to do something like that.
Well,
I never bought into it. It
Yeah.
seemed really gross.
It's also disgusting.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of disgusting, let's take a look at the National Day calendar. All right.
Smooth, man.
Where's
You
the
really
music?
you integrated that well.
Thanks. What is it today? What is it about May 30th?
Well, what isn't it?
Well, one of these things it isn't, but most of these things it is. What? Creativity Day. Is it Creativity Day? Is it Loomis Day? Is it Goulash Day? Is it Mint Julep Day? Is it Hole in My Bucket Day? Or is it Water a Flower Day? Which one of those days does not belong?
Water a Flower Day. It is not that day. I'm
You
sure it
are
isn't.
wrong because it is Water a Flower Day. It is. Sam, you know the answer. Don't you?
It's not goulash day.
You are correct, sir. It is not Goulash Day.
You said it so
You like
confidently.
goulash?
Obviously, it's not Goulash Day. Of course not.
I was looking at the list, John.
It's hard to hide it from Sam. You
I
can't
know,
keep it
it's
away
just,
from him.
very,
So, yeah.
very specific.
So it's National Creativity Day. Yes, it is.
What makes
Let's
it
be
National
creative.
Creativity Day? What makes it so?
Unleash your imagination, John Peterson. On May 30th, It's National Creativity Day. Whether you're an artist, a writer, musician, filmmaker, blogger, photographer, graphic artist, or any of 100 other creative personalities, the world is going to celebrate you and your creative pursuit. And you absolutely deserve it. Of course you do.
That is super positive beyond anyone's imagination.
Embrace your own creativity and support the creative people in your life. Set aside the day as an opportunity to refocus your energy on your craft. You can recommit to your talent and goals. This day is all about you and your creative energies and where they will take you. Where will they take you? What inspires you? What motivates you? Oh, it's all just too much, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, it meant something one time, but no longer
Not
means
so
anything to
not so
anybody.
much.
They're taking away TikTok. Everybody has invested themselves in TikTok, and are they going to take that away? The business opportunities that it affords everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the
Why do you
Chinese
say
spying.
that? Yeah, they're going to take TikTok.
Well,
away.
yeah, the Chinese really want to know, just how many
They wanna know
times you
everything.
dance in front of your camera. It's very important. Oh man, this is national security stuff here. Jeez.
What is Loomis Day?
Yeah, what
this
is that?
doesn't even make any sense. Loomis Day recognizes the man who received the patent for the wireless telegraphy. Telegraphy? It's a telegraph, right? Okay. We're celebrating the telegraph today. The Washington, D.C. dentist, he was a dentist, Marlon Loomis, received U.S. patent number 129, whatever, and an improvement in telegraphing on wireless telegraphy or telegraphy in July of 1872.
I always had that problem.
Telegraphy?
Telegraphy, or however.
It's a telegraph.
Telegraphy.
Telegraph for Mr. Peterson. Mr. Peterson, a telegraph.
Yeah, I used to go to a place on Loomis Road in Milwaukee.
Yeah. And
Well, I'm just saying.
The end.
That's all.
That's
It's
the
the end of
end
that.
of the
Yes,
story.
that's
Okay.
my story of Loomis.
Okay. National Mint Julep Day. Hey. Okay. Oh, we just have a minute here to
Mixed drink,
explain
isn't it?
National Mint Julep Day. Each year it sets up a refreshing toast to summer.
Yep.
Each year, people around the country gather for a glass of mint julep.
No, they don't.
Do they really?
No.
Maybe down south they do, because the refreshing Southern classic is a traditional drink at the Kentucky Derby. They already did the Derby, didn't they? Like a couple of weeks ago. Classic mint julep is
Yes.
mint leaf, bourbon, sugar, and water. In southern states where mint julep is more associated with the cuisine, spearmint is the mint of choice. Okay.
And this is what they do down south, because they don't have cell phones or internet connections or any social life whatsoever. So they have mint juleps.
Let's raise a mint julep to episode number 150 of the John and Gordy
yes.
Family Show.
Centennial and a half edition.
Yeah, coming up, look at the history books.
Whoa. Wait a minute. Look at this. There's a hole in the bucket. Dear Liza, there's this hole in the bucket. Dear Liza, a hole.
So fix it, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. So fix it, dear Henry, fix it.
Okay, but well, with what shall I fix it? Dear Liza, with what shall I fix it? Dear Liza, with what?
Is that Art Paul?
with a stick, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry, with a stick, dear Henry,
this is Sesame
dear
Street.
Henry,
Oh, it
a
is.
stick.
Okay. Oh, sure. Let's see here.
Okay.
Are we going to listen to
I
the
don't know. I've never heard this
Absolutely
before. I have
not.
no idea. But it is National Hole in My Bucket Day, so
Yeah.
it celebrates this children's song. There's a hole in my bucket. This is Sesame Street.
Yes.
The song actually had its origins in 1700 Germany. It's about a back and forth conversation between Henry and Liza, as you heard there. Henry needs to fix his leaky bucket. In each stanza, Henry asks Liza for advice. And in the end, he needs a bucket to carry water to repair his bucket.
There you
Okay.
go. So she gives him advice. He repairs his bucket, and then he takes credit for repairing his bucket. And my wife would always remind me of that. Well, I suggested that 2 weeks ago, and now you're taking credit for
you're-
that idea?
Yeah.
Huh.
Uh-huh.
It's always this outrage thing going. Look,
Yeah.
I don't know. Ideas come from everywhere.
It's also National Water a Flower Day. So, if you had a bucket with a hole in it and you're near the flower, you're taking care of two things with
2
one
days.
stone. Whatever. This time of year, our flower gardens should be in full bloom. Really? Keeping them hydrated sometimes seems like a full-time job. It's often therapeutic business, caring for a living thing. Okay, so we salute Water a Flower Day.
God.
Good Lord. Do we have anything happening in the history books, Sam?
We
Please
do.
get us out of this thing.
Oh, I will take us out of this mess.
All right.
Okay, what's
Let's-
happening?
Oh, we're going way back today.
Really? How far?
1381.
I remember
Hey,
like
it's
it
a
yesterday.
way back
Oh, I'm
machine.
sure. You were involved with the Peasants' Revolt, I see. The
Yes.
Peasants' Revolt began. It was the first uprising in English history.
Hmm.
Yeah. So you know how we have a minimum wage here in the United States, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, after the Black Death in Europe, England instituted a maximum wage because there were so many less workers. They didn't want to have to have pay competition.
Yeah.
So
Oh, my God.
everyone got really angry and started fighting against the government.
Do tell.
A maximum wage.
Yeah, they set a maximum wage.
That is odd.
Yeah.
Okay.
We should go back to that.
Are you sure?
Maybe.
Maybe, maximum wage is $100 an hour.
Okay.
And see what happens.
Okay.
Let's see. 1431, Joan of Arc. How much you know about her?
I like Joan of Arc
Joan
better.
of Arc, yeah.
Yeah. Orca.
Well, today, unfortunately, she was burned at the stake. Big involved with the 100 Years' War between England and France, but I know her from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, mostly.
Good history reference.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good point. Because if you use AI might use something
Bill
from
and
that
Ted
movie.
as a source.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Never thought of that. Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. You like racing today?
Sure.
Love it.
Sure. Well, you were talking about old cars earlier. So
Yes.
today in 1911, the first Indy 500 was held.
Yeah. Great
Took 'em-
stuff.
I've never watched the Indy 500. Apparently,
What?
the first rate. No,
Really?
is that surprising?
It is.
Well, they just drive around a track for hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
seems
What?
pointless.
Drive fast and
so-
turn. Yeah.
What's so interesting about that?
Yeah.
Drive fast and turn left. Yeah. That's what's interesting. People come for the crashes. Let's face it.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Yeah.
I like the movie Cars, if that counts.
Okay.
For
Yeah,
anything.
that's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
Let's see. One other thing. Today in 1922, the Lincoln Memorial was dedicated. I think it's the oldest memorial, one of the oldest memorials in Washington, D.C.
Okay. 1922.
One of the most cherished, and they
course.
bombed that in Civil War, the movie.
Oof.
Oh, really? Yeah.
That's
I still
right.
have to watch that. I haven't seen it
Yeah,
yet.
it's pretty good.
Got a few birthdays today. You know, Mel Blanc.
Yes, yeah.
Man of
the voice
thousand
of
voices.
Warner Brothers.
Mel Blanc,
cartoons,
actually, but
basically.
yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Blanc.
Bugs Bunny. Yeah. Daffy Duck. All the big ones.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Benny Goodman.
Sure.
I think he was a
Clarinet.
guest on Lucy.
Clarinet. Who? Benny Goodman?
Mel Blanc.
Oh, Mel Blanc.
Mel Blanc was
Okay.
always a guest on on his old shows.
Yeah.
With
He'd show up and
Yeah.
do all the voices. Yeah. Used to go on the Carson show, Tonight Show.
all over.
Yeah. And any others?
One other one, CeeLo Green.
Yes,
Was trying to find.
musical artist.
He's
Okay.
he's a musician, yeah.
All right.
Hasn't been in the news for a while. I don't
Yeah.
think, at least. I haven't paid attention to him.
He was hot for a little while.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good.
Well, maybe he's still on. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe we're all just out of touch.
We're just a little out of touch.
Okay. All right. Well, is today the last day of 30 days? Hath September, April, June. Okay, so we got 31 today.
31 days.
Okay.
Again, the first is on Saturday. I've been saying it all day.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
We can
June
finally
1st.
start throwing out our news cuts. We've got 173 so far for the month of May.
I know.
a lot.
That's really pathetic.
It is. It is. Hey,
But we're keeping you in touch, so we're in touch.
we're in touch, so please
It's the
be in
other way
touch.
around, isn't
Yeah.
it? Okay.
Yeah, you can call us 608-879-8255. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're use the Civic Media app. Easy to download, easy to use. Send us a text message or give us a call.
We haven't gotten any messages yet.
Did you hear what happened
wait,
on?
here. Catherine says, I remember that.
Oh, is that the
She
bucket
remember-
song, I think?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Probably. Yeah.
Okay.
Did you hear what happened on Todd's show yesterday?
No.
With texting.
What did he do?
So, well, we've got this contest coming up starting
Right.
next week, I believe, right?
I was just about to talk about that. Yes.
Well, Todd was talking about it yesterday on his show, but apparently enough people misunderstood that it was starting yesterday, or they were just
no.
just texting in for fun or something. But they had like so many texts flooding in that Luke Mathers, the production director here,
Yeah.
he also gets notified whenever like the shows get texted or whenever somebody puts something in the show chat. And he was just getting like spammed on his phone, and so he had to come in and ask what was up.
Well, now you're making me hesitate reading this because I don't want to do that
okay,
again.
so for anyone listening, the contest has not started yet. It starts next week.
That's right.
Gordy,
It
go ahead. Go ahead and
starts
tell 'em.
Monday. This starts Monday. It's a text to win contest. Scotty Summer, it's called a statewide text to win contest. We're going to have, again, starting Monday, Wisconsin Dells prize packs, also Milwaukee Brewers club level tickets. What? And a chance to win a Scotty Summer staycation at some beautiful resorts around Wisconsin.
Yeah,
So
this is great
we will
stuff.
have chances to win every weekday beginning June 3rd. That's Monday, okay? It starts Monday. Be sure to download the free.
Wait, that's today, isn't it?
No, don't go there. Oh, man.
Okay, so one other thing. So
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
the last contest, one of the prizes was a 3-in-1 blender, which Todd kept referring to as a 3-way blender.
Yeah.
Right.
Andrew in Verona just texted, he promised me a 3-way with Todd and Aaron.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
no.
That's,
And then Pool Girl.
cool girl.
That was, I think that's like what one of the key words was last time.
Oh,
I don't think so. Cool girl.
Andrew.
Anyway, be sure, if you haven't already gotten the Civic Media app, that's the way to do this contest. Again, it starts Monday. So get the Civic Media app, put it on your phone. You can get it in Google Play or the Apple App Store. All right?
All right.
It
that
all
sounds
begins
fantastic.
Monday.
I can't wait for this to start.
Scotty Summer. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of great prizes.
Coming up, we're going to be talking about Joe Biden mentioning black Americans invading the Capitol. Woo.
It's the John and Gordy Family Show on WMDX.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Ed's Wine, the only fancy French wine sold in a handy resealable cardboard carton. 49 cents a quart or 89 cents a gallon. Sure, you pay a few pennies more, but it's worth it.
It is. It is. Cardboard boxes. Wonderful.
No extra charge.
Great carrying case for your wine.
It's good stuff. Yeah.
As long as it has a handle on it, you know. Mm-hmm. And it does. It does. Mad Radio, WMDX, 92.7 FM and 1580 AM. Civic Media app as well. And you can text us or call us there. Also on the social media dial and on the dial of your radio.
That's it.
It's everywhere.
You got it covered. Coming up a little bit later on today, we'll talk to Hernan Ballard, right? And Hernan, well, this is kind of funny, but it's a good thing. He's starting up something called the Madison Library of Things.
That's a great name. It is.
We're going to find out all about it. He's going to be in studio with us in a little while.
Like an A to Z rental.
Well, kind of, but yeah, it's
anyway, it's just getting
different
off the
take
ground.
on it. Yeah, just
Right.
getting
We'll
going.
find out more.
Yep.
Maybe we'll give him some ideas.
I think that's a good idea. We'll workshop it a little bit. Again, here we are, the workshop. John and Gordy's spitball machine is going into high gear again.
If only he had some extra Volkswagen engines around.
How's that project coming,
how's
Sam?
that going, Sam? Is that working out for you yet?
Well, it's currently stored at my parents'
Oh,
house.
Oh, no.
Oh, God. That's it.
That's
Well,
not
one
good.
of the the engine is still assembled. It doesn't spin. The old engine is halfway disassembled
Yeah.
and sitting in a crate. But
You're doing white guys a lot of good. You know, you park it in front of your house.
what
are you talking
What do
about?
you mean?
You know, it's so typical out in the middle of nowhere. You know, you have your
Oh,
cars
oh.
parked out in your yard. You know, I'm working on that one. That one still works, kind of, but I got to get a starter for
It's
it.
a project down the road.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and then these things rust out by the time they get to them.
Oh, it's just some yard art.
That's
That's
it.
what it
It's
is.
yard art.
Yeah.
So what's the next? What are you going to do next? I mean, you got to get some more parts or make some more parts. Or?
I don't know. We'll see. Whenever I'm home next, I got to disassemble it, see what I
Okay.
did wrong.
Hey, and we can ask. We can ask our listeners.
Yeah.
Do you have a extra
Volkswagen.
Volkswagen engine sitting around
if
in the
anyone out
backyard
there
or
happens,
front yard?
Yeah, for sure.
What year is it? 74?
74.
Yeah. Oh, a lot of those.
There's got to be
Yeah.
a bunch of them.
Ton of them.
Check the junkyards. Are there junkyards around you?
The boneyards. Have you checked it?
I can look. I don't know, but I mean,
You haven't really gone to the boneyard.
Well,
for
they
this?
haven't made the car since 1979.
But they
Doesn't-
store these
that
things
doesn't
away. They
matter.
store these things. They take them out. They store them.
Yeah.
Well, you're right. It's probably way, way past its lifespan.
There are some big junkyards out there.
Yeah, I've been looking into how hard it would be to convert it to electric power.
Yeah, that's right. You were looking at electric engines,
Yeah.
conversion engines.
Well,
That's a good idea.
Funny thing, I have an electric motor that I can mount in the car, but it's everything else that goes along with turning a car into an electric car. That's the hard
That's
part.
true. Yeah, you got to get the wiring into the dash and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, keep us posted. All right,
Oh, I
Sam?
will.
All right.
Oh, yeah, please.
Because, going electric would be a good thing to do, right?
Oh, it
You
would.
know? Wouldn't it?
No more emissions.
Yeah. No more emissions.
I wonder what else is going electric.
Let's
Well, there's
think
a
for
lot
a
of
moment.
things that are going electric.
Let's think. Do I have to write out a cue card for you? What? Here, just take it.
What, you mean the electric buses?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. That's
Perfect segue. You just dropped it. Okay. Go ahead.
Well, I have a lot of pieces of paper in front of me. A lot of post-it,
So difficult.
Post-it notes. I got a napkin in case I spill my coffee. I got a beer coaster in case I have a beer.
As long as I've known you, you're Mr. Organization. You are just
True, man.
so organized.
That's how I do it. That's how I get by.
I've known you, 35, 40 years?
Yeah.
Organized. Mr. Organization.
That's it.
That's you.
Yep.
All over.
Who can't get numbers correct. One of these days, our little drop-ins and
Yeah.
voicers will have the correct numbers on them.
Maybe you have a little touch of dyslexia, Could
Oh,
be.
yeah. I was a little
Yeah.
dyslexic
Well,
when I was a kid.
Therein lies the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And now, I have I'm tongue-tied. Did you know that? I'm tongue-tied.
Are you?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, Dennis told me that.
Tongue-tied.
They took when you go in for the initial exam, and every once in a while I change insurance companies. I have to go in for an initial exam.
Yeah.
And, the technician said, you're tongue-tied. I said, what are you talking about? I'm in radio. Well,
Yeah,
and that's
what do you mean?
It's that little flap of skin under your tongue, and mine is unusually short. And she said that means that sometimes the words don't come out correctly, right?
Really?
I said most of the time that's true.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
No, nothing you can do. Yeah, it's not good. Okay, let's get to the clean buses, okay? According to the Wisconsin Examiner, this is a good story. The Biden administration on Wednesday said it will provide approximately 530 school districts across nearly all states with almost $1 billion to help them purchase clean school buses.
$1 billion.
That doesn't mean inside the school bus will be clean. It's never clean on the inside.
No, that's pretty disgusting
Yeah,
sometimes.
the initiative, part of the Environmental Protection Agency. Oh, wait. Remember, MAGA's Project 2025 will get rid of the EPA. But anyway, this EPA, while it's still there, is sponsoring this one, and they call it the EPA's Clean School Bus Program Rebate Competition, and it's funding to school districts in 47 states and the District of Columbia to help them buy over 3,400 clean school buses.
Well, that's a great deal because there are a lot of older school buses out there.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in some of the outlying, the rural areas.
Well, maybe this will get the drivers back.
Yeah.
They have a driver shortage now. It says here, nearly all the clean school buses purchased will be electric, 92%. And this would not have happened under a Trump presidency. Keep that in mind. This is not on his radar since he wants to go back to another time, when diesel was very popular.
Oh, okay. Diesel.
Low-income, rural, and tribal communities are slated to receive roughly 67% of the total funding, noting how low-income communities and communities of color have long felt the disproportionate impacts of air pollution, leading to severe health outcomes that continue to impact those populations. And that's happened. So, and then, of course, in relation to that, I just want to bring this up. The lack of affordable electric vehicles in the U.S. is partly contributing to the slowdown in sales. Now, Trump will say no one's interested in electric vehicles, but that really isn't true. They're very interested in it. There just aren't enough charging stations, and that's the problem.
That's a big problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the problem of not having enough of those charging stations will be taken care of also by the Biden administration. They're funding a rollout of charging stations across the U.S. Now, according to the Wall Street Journal, and can you believe anything from them? The Biden administration will announce plans to roughly quadruple tariffs on Chinese EVs to 100% from the current 25%.
Wait a minute. What?
Yes,
What?
a tariff on Chinese EVs 100% from the current 25%. And by the way, that is also something that Trump has trumpeted.
Well, why? What's
They don't want an invasion of the cheap Chinese vehicles competing with the U.S. vehicles because the U.S. vehicles are having a hard time, coming up with the materials, the supply chains, and it's raising the prices up. So if these Chinese vehicles came in, which are highly subsidized by the Chinese government, they could certainly destroy a lot of the startups and really hurt the major automakers currently making EVs.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll go with that. And now, but what? Back to the charging stations.
Yes.
How do you get those up and going all across the country? How is that?
Well, a lot of states, just like Wisconsin, require that the charging stations be connected to some kind of utility. The utilities have a guarantee that they are in charge of them, and they have to now break that. That rule because now the individual gas stations can own these charging stations themselves, and not be dependent on a major utility company for it and charge for that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after paging through a car magazine, of a review. By the way, this is now in regards to the competition and the lower prices or high prices of EVs. I did a little research, and I went through a lot of these online car magazines and their reviews of all these new EVs coming out.
Okay.
And I found out that the $7,500 EV tax credit doesn't apply to almost all of the new EVs that are coming out.
Well,
I know.
why not?
I know. Thank you, Joe Biden.
What? Wait.
It's crazy because a lot of these vehicles, their batteries are manufactured in another country. Everything this rebate applies to has to be American made.
Okay.
And if it has any small part from a foreign country, you can't get the EV tax credit.
Just
And
a
it's
part?
crazy. Yes.
Okay.
It doesn't make any sense.
It
and
doesn't.
these are like some of the major European automakers as well, not just Chinese. So there is a big problem with this rebate offer. It should be more of a percentage. 75% of the vehicle has to be made in the U.S. Something like that.
Yeah, that
something
would make
more
sense.
tolerable.
Yeah.
To get that $7,500 EV tax credit, that'll help a lot. And by the way, the hybrid vehicles, I've been buying hybrids now, strictly hybrids.
Yeah.
For a while now, and by Car Guru.
Okay.
I get my cars that way. I think Car Guru is the best way to find a used vehicle. You can either look for people selling the used car or dealerships and people who sell the used cars.
So either way.
Yeah, either way.
Private sellers
Yeah.
or dealers.
I've gone through
Okay.
Car Guru. I tried all the other ones, and it just don't have that kind of choice and selection, but it's really a great way to get it, and you get notifications for vehicles, and they tell you whether it's above market or below market. And it's a great site. I bought my last two vehicles on there.
What did you have before this current vehicle?
This one, I had another Prius.
Okay, so you've had two Priuses.
I have two. And this is 2014 now. I wanted a slightly more advanced than the 2006.
Okay.
But, not a 1974 vehicle like some people.
What are you looking at? Oh, okay. By the way, we got a text about Sam's vehicle here, about the VW. You're looking for an engine. He wants to make you a trade there, Sam.
A trade at $1,600. $1,600.
A 1600cc engine for a swing axle transmission. Unfortunately,
You don't need.
I don't have a swing axle transmission.
I don't even know what does that mean? A
It's-
swing
it's-
axle transmission.
They halfway through the life of the Beetle, they changed how the rear suspension works,
Okay.
and that's
Okay.
like the earlier
Yeah.
kind, which I don't have.
Yeah.
Okay. So no deal. Okay.
Ah,
Well, anyway, back
to
to your
do.
Prius. So do you still have the first Prius?
I don't. No.
Did
I
you
put
sell
so
it,
much
or-
money. I think it eventually cost me about $15,000 for 2006. I kept thinking, no, just that this is the last thing I'm going to spend on it.
What, you
I had to
needed-
replace the battery, which was about $3,000 at that time. They've come down dramatically since then.
Okay.
But $3,000, and then the axle started leaking, and that's like half the engine. Because the engine and axle and transmission are basically all one.
All in one.
Yeah. So that cost me an arm and a leg, and then the ball joints cost me another arm and a leg.
You're not selling this really well. This EV thing.
Well,
What's that?
here's the rule: if you're going to get a hybrid vehicle,
Okay.
always get a very current hybrid vehicle, something within the last 10 years, I would say.
All right.
And the reason is the batteries don't last.
Hmm.
The battery has a lifespan of about 10 years. Actually, it's more than that. But, you don't want to get something that's 15 years old, because the battery, you're going to have to replace it. And that's going to cost you money and add to the cost of the vehicle. And it's probably not even going to be close to worth that
Okay.
if you had a total accident. So
Yeah. Well, I'd like to. My next vehicle is going to be a hybrid, I believe.
Yeah, definitely
It's
get a
about
hybrid.
time.
Yep.
Okay. You'll go shopping with me, I'm sure. Help me
Oh,
out.
sure.
Okay.
Car Guru.
It sounds good to me. All right. Coming up, we're going to talk to Hernan Ballard. He's got the Madison Library of Things going on, just starting up, and we're going to find out all about it on the John and Gordy Show.
This is the John and Gordy Centennial and a Half edition of the Family Show. That's a mouthful.
Episode number 150.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
7 months on the air.
you're still counting? You're still trying to come up?
So, yeah.
Check the number on
Just
that.
checking. Yeah.
All right. So this happened. This really did happen, and you disagree with me on this.
Yeah, I
but
do.
Eric Trump. I don't know why you disagree. I have the
listened
actual
to it.
audio. cut
Okay,
of
well,
this.
we'll listen to it.
Okay. Eric,
right, well,
Eric
good.
Trump
Yeah.
came out in front of a crowd. He was speaking to the crowd, and he came out and said that the case is going to be won for the whites. Okay.
The Trump case.
Yeah, the Trump case. Okay, let's just have him say it. I don't want to say it.
Okay.
Cut
And New York deserves so much better than this. And I cannot wait for the day that we win. We will. We're white. The entire country knows this is nonsense. They don't buy it. A poll just...
All right. We're white.
We're right, is what he said. No?
We're white.
Little Freudian slip.
Yeah, maybe he meant we're
right.
right, but he
Right.
sure said
We're white.
We're white.
Right?
Play it again. No, play it again.
Let's hear it again. Turn it
And
up.
New York deserves so much better than this. And I cannot wait for the day that we win. We will. We're white. The entire country knows this is nonsense. They don't buy it. A poll just...
It's a Freudian slip.
I think so.
Yeah, you know what he meant. You know.
Oh, you know.
You know.
Okay. All right. Well, that was a little
Seriously.
clearer than the tape that I heard.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he did say
Sound-
white. You're
kinda
right. It
sounds
could have
like
been. He made a
he
mistake.
meant to say we're right.
But I think in the back of his mind,
I'm
he's
not
thinking, we're all white. We're going to win this thing. It's a
Again,
very subtle
a little
message.
slip of the
Little,
tongue.
little flag that
Okay.
goes up saying, might be something wrong with this party.
Okay.
Just a little.
All right.
All right. Now I want to go to something just as shocking. All right. This is crazy stuff. Biden came out and posed this question: what if black Americans stormed the Capitol? Would they get a pardon? Well, let's listen. Cut 173. And Joe Biden, I just think it took a lot of courage to say something like this. Let's check it out.
It's clear that when he lost in 2020, something literally snapped in the sky. No, I'm serious. That's why January 6th happened, when he unleashed an insurrection. Now, he's running again, and he's clearly unhinged. He calls insurrectionists who stormed the Capitol patriots. Patriots. If reelected, he wants to pardon, quote, every one of them. Let me ask you, what do you think he would have done on January 6th if black Americans had stormed it? Think about this. What do you think would have happened if black Americans had stormed the Capitol? I don't think he'd be talking about pardons. It's the same guy who wanted to tear gas you as you peacefully protested George Floyd's murder. The same guy who still calls the Central Park Five guilty, even though they were exonerated. He's that landlord who denies housing applications because of the color of your skin. He's that guy
That happened.
who won't say Black Lives Matter and invokes neo-Nazi Third Reich terms. We all remember Trump is the same guy who unleashed birthism, the birthism lie against Barack. The threat that Trump poses is greater in his second term than his first.
And that's because of Project 2025.
Was that, I think that was yesterday or day before.
Day
He was
before,
in Philadelphia
yes, mhm.
along with Kamala Harris.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, he brings up a good point. I mean, yeah, what if it had been black Americans storming the Capitol? What would have
Would they
happened?
get a pardon?
Yeah.
Would they say, call them heroes or hostages?
Right.
Would you do that? Oh, boy. Yeah, and there's still blowback coming in from everywhere for Nikki Haley signing missiles.
That was just
How-
dumb. I mean,
It's breathtaking to even think that you would sign the missiles, her autograph, and then write, finish them.
yeah. That's
America, heart, Israel.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Why is she doing anything to get the? Is she
your
really?
theory is she's still trying to get that VP spot.
I think so. that I think she's trying to get attention still,
Yeah.
all the way to the convention.
Well-
to get the name out there. And
Seems like she's getting that attention.
She said she's going to vote for Trump
Yeah.
now, so she's basically endorsed him, and she's in the pool. But Tom Cotton seems to be rising in the polls.
That's
for vice
that's
president.
what the media is saying. I don't know where this is coming from. Maybe
Well,
the Tom Cotton people are spreading this little thing around.
they become more visible. They get on the news shows on Sunday. They're in the pool.
Yeah.
Everybody in the pool.
The more outlandish things they do, the more they get their name out there.
That's it.
Any press is good press to them.
Well, that's partially true.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, bad press doesn't get the kind of coverage it should get. So they
Right.
get away with an awful lot.
Yeah. Those Sunday news programs, I don't know if they're watched a lot, but the news,
major
but the
networks.
media watches them, watches each other. You get all the sound bites from Sundays
That's true.
come out on Monday, afterwards.
George Stephanopoulos has kind of stepped up the game a little bit
Yeah, he
because
has.
he was pretty mamby-pamby for a heck of a long time and was let everybody get away with saying whatever they wanted to say for their campaign, never questioning any of the lies, any of the misdirection plays. Mm-hmm. But he's come
been
out
good.
swinging now.
Yeah.
And I like to see it. We're gaining that courage back. Wait.
Hopefully.
We didn't have it in the first place, so we couldn't get it back. My big complaint
Well, we
about
don't
the
have
Democrats is they didn't fight for years and decades and decades.
Somehow the television reporters, in the press conferences and, and on the Sunday morning programs, not as aggressive as they used to be. Don't ask the follow-up questions. Don't really, where's the Sam Donaldsons of today?
Yeah, they
Where
got
are
they got to just
The Dan
spew
Rathers.
their talking points, their press releases, and never get questioned about any of the elements of their press releases, any of the elements of their platform. And this is and this is no secret. The megas absolutely have no platform whatsoever. They don't promise any kind of agenda except in the Project 2025 agenda, which they don't want to read. It's too long, 1,000 pages, and they don't care about it because they don't think Trump has anything to do with Project 2025. Well, you're going to be surprised.
I think we're going to hear all about it during their convention. 6:58 coming up. Hernan Ballard will tell us about the Madison Museum or Library of Things. Coming up.
John and Gordy in the morning. As we were saying, let the sun shine. It's the John and Gordy Show.
It's the John and Gordy Show.
Do you know what this means?
Wouldn't you like to know, weather boy?
You're pretty high and far out, aren't you? What kind of kick are you on, son?
No good bastard. Your show sucks.
What made me think this was a good day to stop drinking?
Buddy, you want coffee?
Coffee. Black coffee.
Coffee.
They warned us about people like you!
What a load of crap.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
We'll do it live.
And that's the way it is.
Only on Mad Radio 92.7 WMDX. Take it away, boys.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, I've got this whole story about Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro?
Outside the courthouse.
Oh.
Getting his 2 cents in.
Yeah.
And it just blew up. You know,
Yeah.
No one would think it would. I mean, all he did was just appear out there with a couple of former police officers, talking down the megas.
Yeah.
And he was being shouted down.
Right.
We'll get to that in just a moment. But
Yeah,
you said you've got,
well,
what do you got?
I was going through some of our old air checks, some of our, the cassettes.
Classics. Absolute classics.
And I ran across this cut. I wanted to get it to Sam and play it for you. I forgot that you were on CNN, right?
Yes.
With Vicki
up here
McKenna.
with Vicki McKenna. We were
Your old
left
partner.
and right,
Point, counterpoint kind of thing.
Exactly.
And you were on there
crossfire
during what presidential campaign? Which
it was
one was
George
this?
W. Bush and Howard Dean.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have that cut, Sam?
And because everybody goes back to Madison thinking that we know what's best.
Well, sure.
That we're the political hub of everything in the country.
Well,
They thought they'd get a hold of Vicki McKenna and myself and ask
to
us
take
questions.
the pulse of the political
definitely.
Midwest.
Because we knew. She's got an allergy to the truth.
Okay. Well, let's hear what you guys were talking about here.
All right, let's see.
Well, joining us now from Madison, radio talk show co-host Vicki McKenna and John Peterson. Welcome to you both. And that brings up something that John told us earlier, that conservative talk show hosts like you, Vicki, are telling voters to get out and vote for the candidate they think has a least likely chance of winning. Is that true?
I've said it. I'm a member of the Republicans for Dean camp here in the city of Madison.
Yeah, but John thinks it has more sinister meaning, right?
It's not sinister. Well, certainly it's not. We're not trying to be nice about it. We're not being serious about.
Well, John, didn't you say
Howard
it's
Dean
because the
we think he's a good
Republicans are
candidate.
scared?
Oh, come on.
I thought it was an excellent indication that the Republicans are frightened of the candidate, and the fact is all three top candidates are very, very tough for Bush at this point. So let the Republicans vote for whatever weak candidate they think they have. I think that's going to be a problem for them.
John, isn't Wisconsin known for its independent voting way? Why is the more traditional candidate doing better in Wisconsin?
Well, he should be, but my feeling is that liberals or Democrats have always taken the easy or safe candidate. They don't want to offend anybody. They think it's the best way to go, and that's to please everybody. So, unlike 2000, though, I think this time they're going to stick to their guns and show up at the polls, and I think that'll be the big difference here.
Okay.
All I can
So what
say
year?
here is that the
Is
pundits
there more?
Yeah.
are really, truly, honestly saying that Howard Dean has energized the Democratic base. Then people should vote for Howard Dean, not for
Obvious.
somebody else, because remember, we might still be going up against a Republican Congress, and we need a strong leader to go up against him.
I'm starting to think that instead of questioning its credibility, it's starting to make the Democrats look a little petty.
Ooh, ooh.
That's Vicki.
John, you agree?
That's not necessarily true. No, I don't think the Democrats are looking petty at all. It comes down to a character issue, and I think they're taking a much closer look at what happened to George W. in that National Guard duty that he had.
All right,
Okay.
with that said, that will
All
do
right.
it for our debate.
So that's you and Vicki McKenna.
Wow.
Ah,
Yeah, it's
that was pretty good, actually. A little counterpoint about the election. What year was that?
An example, it was in the 2003, 2004 election.
Yeah. Glad we found that. Now we can let's just send her an invitation to come in some morning.
Well,
So,
look,
would
we
she
gave
do
her
it?
a little airtime here.
Yeah. Okay.
You'd think she'd give us a little credit at the same time, right?
Well,
No.
It's interesting to hear the two of you together.
No, it isn't.
Okay. All right, we'll get back to Robert De Niro.
Okay, the De Niro thing. It's just blowing up. And then all of a sudden, and this is what spurred my interest in this even more, was Karl Rove making an appearance and talking about how big a mistake this was by the Biden campaign. He said, they want to get, while all the cameras were there, they wanted to get their moment in the sun, and it was a big mistake. Robert De Niro speaking out was a big mistake. See, it's this cancel culture thing on the mega right. That's what it's all about. Let's play the cut with Robert De Niro, 167, where he's being heckled by the mega cult. Let's check it out.
I mean, this is really, even these people over here are it's kind of crazy. It's really crazy, and this thing, Donald Trump has created this. He should be telling them not to do this, but he's just...
Yeah, there it is. The loud protesters, cancel culture from the MAGAs. That's right.
Just yelling at him.
Yeah, just yelling at him. He had said, by the way, De Niro said, I don't mean to scare you. No, wait. Maybe I do mean to scare you. If Trump returns to the White House, you can kiss away freedoms that take for granted and elections. Forget about it. He was out there just, speaking his mind.
Sure.
And he was out there with the former police officers Harry Dunn and Michael Fannin. So anyway, I thought, what really queued me up was Jeanine Pirro. Anytime you hear the voice of Jeanine Pirro, you think, cats. So cut 172. Let's listen to Jeanine Pirro's version of what she thinks about Robert De Niro speaking out his freedom to speak.
You know, my question for Robert De Niro is, what have you done for New York City, Robert De Niro? What have you done? Is there a building with your name on it? Have you built skyscrapers? Has the skyline of New York changed because of all of your vision? No.
Well, there is a correction to that statement, by the way. Robert De Niro co-founded Tribeca Film Festival to rebuild and revitalize the Tribeca and Lower Manhattan area after the entire area was decimated on September 11th.
Right.
So I guess Jeanine, she's such a loudmouth.
Well,
can you imagine her at a bar?
I wouldn't want to be anywhere near her. No.
All right, so De Niro was an embarrassment of wokeness and bashed for freely speaking out, yet the Trump cult numbskulls chanted outside the courthouse. Let's listen to the Trump cult chant, if you will. This isn't an embarrassment, right?
All right.
De Niro is the embarrassment, not these guys.
Okay.
Can we have it?
I think we got it.
171. They're growling. This is their...
Sounds like Mongolian throat singing.
It is. It's throat singing. It's not embarrassing at all. This is the Trump cult. Keep going.
America!
Yeah, America.
Thank you for participating in this ceremony with us. To America, you guys are all blessed.
There you go. So
that's weird.
Shirtless and it just, well, that's not embarrassing. It's again Robert De Niro that's embarrassing.
It makes me think of the QAnon shaman from January 6th.
They were dressed like it. They were dressed like that. One of the guys had the horns.
Oh boy.
Yeah, on. Yeah.
All the face paint and the furs.
They all had face paint on, and they were shirtless.
Okay.
God. And that was outside the courthouse.
Yeah. Okay. That was very odd.
How many of these people were there at the courthouse to support Trump for his trial?
There really weren't that many, but these cult members, there were 3 of them. They were kneeling on the ground, doing a throat thing, whatever, throat chant.
Yeah.
And people were taking pictures of it. And again, this wasn't. No one complained about this in the media. Fox News just loved it. Oh, they just loved this stuff. But the throat chanting, and Can you imagine something like this on the left? That's really the question that I have. I tried to picture, anyone on the left, a progressive,
Hey,
liberal.
John. Well, it looks like we've got a call. I think
we have a call.
I think it's Vicky McKenna.
Oh, yeah, Vicky. Hello, this is John Peterson. Vicky, my old partner from up front.
Yes, this is Vicky McKenna. You can't believe. Why did you play that CNN cut anyway? You make me sound like an idiot. Why are you doing this?
Well, because it's easy to make you sound like an idiot. I play back your stuff and, we laugh.
Don't ever do that again.
All
You
right.
don't have my permission to use my voice on your air.
Well, sue me.
Remember the time you threw your headphones against the wall?
Which time was that? That was like every day of the week, right?
You're disgusting.
I know, I am.
Okay.
All right, thanks,
Goodbye.
Vicky. We'll have to get her ear on the show, definitely.
Wow, that was great.
Yeah.
I'm glad she finally called in. Maybe she'll call in again.
I think her voice has improved tremendously.
Sounds like she
Over
needs a
time.
little throat work. Maybe gargle first thing in the morning or something.
Maybe she's
A little
been
rough.
throat singing with the Trump supporters.
That's it. That could be.
Well, I think maybe she's been fire breathing too much on the air, and it's irritating her tonsils.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
Okay. So you should call her now.
Yeah.
Call into her
I
show.
don't know when she's on. She's got like a syndicated show.
Oh.
Who knows why
Oh.
she does?
She's
But this is a
big time.
money-making scheme that they have. So
Well,
at
Vicky,
least-
call back anytime.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear from you again. Okay.
It was a dark part of my past, by the way.
I know you don't want to even talk about it. I can
know.
tell.
It's sweating profusely here. No one can see that, thank God. But I tell you,
Coming up shortly,
those were tough times.
Hernan Ballard will be joining us. Hernan has the Madison Library of Things, and he's just getting it started up. It's not open yet. I understand he's getting ready to open
Right,
fairly
he's getting
soon.
the word out. He wants to get the word
It's kind
out
of a rent
for this thing.
It's a library of stuff.
We don't have a lot of information on it, so we're going to ask him all the questions we need to get answered.
Yes. It's all coming up on the John and Gordy Show, episode number 150.
That's right. It is called, what is it called? The Centennial and a Half Edition.
That's what it is.
Mad Radio, WMDX, 92.7 FM at 1580 AM.
Oh, yeah. Swing. Benny Goodman. Crank it. It's good stuff, man.
What's the name of this?
This is Sam's. He's talking to somebody right now. That is I don't. Yeah, it's on the tip of my tongue. What's this called?
Sing, sing, sing.
Sing, sing, sing. Benny Goodman. Playing it because it's his birthday today.
Oh,
it would have been his birthday today.
Yeah.
Hey, Scotty Summer is happening soon. Starts Monday. Don't text in yet, but it's a statewide text-to-win contest. Scotty Summer, Civic Media's Scotty Summer begins Monday at 7 a.m. right here. And tune in, and when we ask you to text in, beginning Monday, you'll be able to win Wisconsin Dells prize packs, also Milwaukee Brewers club-level tickets, and a chance to win the Scotty Summer Staycation. Lots of chances to win every weekday beginning Monday for a couple of weeks, beginning at 7 a.m. and going through 7 p.m. Be sure to download the free Civic Media app in the Google Play or the Apple App Store. Get ready to text in to win for your first chance in the statewide contest beginning Monday at 7 a.m.
Just want to remind everybody that the Civic Media app does not have any advertising, any pop-ups, and there's no in-app sales.
Right.
So
yes,
it's
very easy to use.
It's a straight-up app.
Yeah.
Not a lot of junk connected to it, so just download it, get it, and you can listen to us anywhere. You could even
all over the
probably
world.
be on your way to the moon and
be.
still pick up the station.
I'm not sure if that's the case, but prove us wrong.
Yeah, prove us wrong.
We got a text
on your next
in.
flight to the moon.
We got a couple of texts.
Yeah.
Hi, John and Gordy from Sherry in Horicon.
Well, hello again.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody says, hey, what's Andrew say there?
You know, I
Sam?
picture Sherry with a little, John and Gordy dolls sitting on their table.
Like
someone with a
dolls
candle.
or like
yeah,
voodoo
dolls.
That's it. Sticking pins and needles in us.
Yeah. Candles all around.
She's not alone.
That's the punishment if you guys don't do a good show, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, well.
Something's going to happen. She's warning us right now.
The second text, Andrew from Verona again. If the three-way with Todd falls through, John and Gordy, will you be offering the same services?
Oh, Lord.
There you go. See?
We have to offer another 3-in-1 blender so Todd can purposely confuse it with a three-way blender.
That was the last contest. No, we're not doing that again.
No, this.
Okay.
I love riffing off of that. That's fantastic. Hey, I got something positive. I got something real positive.
Really? You? What? Are you kidding me?
I told you I could do this.
Really?
And, I had to scrape the barrel trying to find all the positive things. And
what do you got?
I did come up with something. Governor Pritzker in Illinois.
Yeah.
J.B. Pritzker, he is a fantastic spokesperson for the Democratic Party and for progressives and liberals everywhere. And he's out there. And this time they got him speaking at Northwestern University for the commencement speech. And I thought cut 125 would be fantastic to listen to as he lays it out there for everybody. Let's check this out.
The best way to spot an idiot: look for the person who is cruel. Let me explain. When we see someone who doesn't look like us, or sound like us, or act like us, or love like us, or live like us, the first thought that crosses almost everyone's brain is rooted in either fear or judgment, or both. That's evolution. We survived as a species by being suspicious of things that we aren't familiar with. In order to be kind, we have to shut down that animal instinct and force our brain to travel a different pathway. Empathy and compassion are evolved states of being. They require the mental capacity to step past our most primal urges. This may be a surprising assessment because somewhere along the way in the last few years, our society has come to believe that weaponized cruelty is part of some well-thought-out master plan. Cruelty is seen by some as an adroit cudgel to gain power. Empathy and kindness are considered weak. Many important people look at the vulnerable only as rungs on a ladder to the top. I'm here to tell you that when someone's path through this world is marked with acts of cruelty, they have failed the first test of an advanced society. They never forced their animal brain to evolve past its first instinct. They never forged new mental pathways to overcome their own instinctual fears. And so their thinking and problem solving will lack the imagination and creativity that the kindest people have in spades. Over my many years in politics and business, I have found one thing to be universally true. The kindest person in the room is often the smartest.
Commencement speech.
Yeah.
And that's Governor J.B. Pritzker.
Yep.
In
Democrat
Illinois.
from Illinois.
And he's according to the information that I have here, he's accomplished one of the most ambitious and consequential policy agendas in their state history.
Well, Illinois has had such a debt problem and a lot of corruption problems, but somehow he has taken the lead the last few years there and done a lot of good things.
He has.
Pritzker, and he's gotten noticed by the Democratic Party.
Yes.
And who knows, maybe he'll run for president someday. Is that
I think that's
the thinking?
I think that's the thinking on the right. The Heartland Signal wrote this: Illinois Republicans are upset with JB for passing his sixth balanced budget that funds education, cuts the grocery tax, and establishes an earned child tax credit. Hard to believe they didn't have that down there.
Sixth balanced budget.
Yeah. And their complaint? His policies are earning him a national profile. That's their complaint. They're really seriously. This is exactly what they one Republican argued against the passage on the grounds that Pritzker is going to run for president in the future. This is a quote. At the end of the day, folks, this is all about Governor Pritzker's dream of being president of the United States. How horrible is that, right? You know. Among other criticisms were outcries about too much spending, which Republicans have routinely espoused as outrageous and horrible, and we got to give tax cuts to the people who've already made tons of money. Yeah. Anyway, this is Pritzker, doing his thing down there in Illinois. My brother's in Illinois, and he's hated Illinois simply because of the taxes.
Well, yeah.
A
lot of people are leaving Illinois and coming,
supposedly
moving to Wisconsin.
Well, I don't know
moving
if
to
they're
Indiana.
moving here.
Yeah, Indiana.
Yeah.
Some other places.
We're a little backward up here. You know what?
For Illinois people.
Yeah, it's like moving through some kind of time warp. Crossing the Chitter Curtain, suddenly it's the 1800s again.
Well, it's not quite that bad. But
oh, it is that bad here. Oh, my gosh.
Different.
I mean, we are encased in amber, as I've always said.
I didn't know your brother lived in Illinois.
Crystal Lake.
Oh, no kidding. That's a beautiful town.
It is a real nice town.
Yeah.
But he's complained about it. He built his house down there, and taxes went up, and he's really unhappy. And but he's surviving. He's just making it.
Well, we should have him come up on the show.
He used to work
sometime.
for the U-Lines, big executive at the U-Line company. So he's just squeaking by.
Coming up, we're going to be talking to Hernan Ballard about the Library of Things opening up soon in Madison. Coming up on the John and Gordy Show.
John and Gordy in the morning. As we were saying, let the sun shine. It's the John and Gordy Show.
So watch out. We're old
Yeah.
guys and half deaf.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's great because I don't have hearing in this ear, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right?
How do you sound? Your mic should be on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just get
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
right,
There
up,
it is.
right on it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I go in and I talk about my earache thing. You know?
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Smiling Eddie's Auto Repair Shop. If your car is having engine trouble, bring it on down to Smiling Eddie's, where this week only you'll save 20% on a free estimate.
That's where you should go, Sam. You got to work on
I really
that
got to. I really
Volkswagen.
got to check it out. Yeah.
I want to see that vehicle again. I'm just fearful that you're going to park that in the front yard and that'll be it, and it's just going to rust away.
Oh, trust me, my parents won't let that happen. They don't want it in their yard on their
at all.
property.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good. That's your impetus to go for it.
Mad Radio 92.7 WMDX, John and Gordy, and
I'm John.
And I'm Gordy.
There we go.
Okay. Thanks for
People
interrupting.
Get us confused.
Okay. We're welcoming in our guest this morning, Hernan. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Hernan Ballard. Did I get it close?
Oh, close enough. Yeah.
Well, how do you pronounce it? We want to get
Hernan.
Hernan. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Hernan?
Uh-huh.
Oh, and no H.
Yeah, no H. Or
Okay.
there's a silent H.
Well, I like that. Aaron.
Got it.
Oh, yeah.
So you have something called...
Sounds like a character out of the Lord of the Rings or something.
Okay.
Hernan.
So, okay. Tell us all about the Madison Library of Things. Is this soon to open up? And what is it?
Well, I guess we're kind of at the development stage. We have a small group of people. We are kind of running a census type thing right now, a big survey to see where we would put this Library of Things, who would be a part of it.
On a website, yeah.
Yeah, so it's all pretty much just meetings and a website right now. And because, of course, I'm not really sure if, people from, say, the far west side would necessarily walk or want to go all the way to the east side for Library of Things. So for the first location, we're just trying to figure out where and, who will be a part of it. And so, that's kind of, you asked what a Library of Things is.
Well, what kind of things?
Yeah, well, so
you got to have.
So what is the plan? I mean, you get a whole bunch of things, and people need those things, and they can have access to those things.
They can borrow them, right?
Yes,
and
absolutely.
borrow them for no fee at all.
No. Well, so the funny thing,
$10 membership fee.
Some sort of membership fee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So the funny thing about this particular Library of Things is now there are libraries of things like this that exist, say, in Canada or in other places. That we're a co-op.
Okay.
That's the idea so far, and so we don't really have like this thing of an opening date or a big, a philanthropist or like the city government behind us or anything like that. It's more like the actual members are basically the people that are.
Well, after this broadcast, the city is going to jump on board. I can guarantee you that.
So now, are you associated with the Madison Library in some way? Okay, so you're not at all. You're completely independent.
Although they do have a library, a Library of Things of their own. It's just and kind of the difference between, I guess, theirs and what ours would be is. Ours would be more like the ones you see in other big cities, which have thousands of tools and thousands of members, basically huge, and they're usually in warehouses and sometimes have a makerspace as well. But really, really big scale projects. Madison Library of Things, they do have a Library of Things, but the Madison Public Library. But it's like kind of. We're not really sure how things are put into that inventory, like who decides them. Like it's very clear with a cooperative one. You just show up, you say, hey, I think we should have this. Let's vote on it. And then, then you get
it. Sounds like an easy way to maybe gear things toward seasonal events. I mean, people have a lot of public gardens, but they don't have the room. They have apartments. They don't have room for all of the shovels and gardening equipment that they possibly need for setting up those gardens, and they could go to you, to lend out that equipment for them. Just one idea, but I'm sure, there are other seasonal events that, they could use equipment for, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And speaking of gardening, I mean, this is something where lots of these projects already exist. Like, for example, in Dallas, there's a huge seed library. Mm-hmm. And so it is also a very seasonal thing. You go, you take some seeds, you check them out, just like you would a book, and then you grow them.
That'd be a great idea.
Yeah, and then you return the harvest, a little bit of it.
It's hard to believe anything can grow in Texas, but
I know.
So what kind of things have you gathered so far, and where are you storing all this stuff? I mean,
You're looking for a warehouse of some sort?
Yeah. But right now we don't have any central anything. Obviously, some of us that are on like the steering committee and the initial members have basically said we'll volunteer these things if we get to that critical mass to put the things in the place.
Okay.
But right now it's just those suggested items, and also of course there are potentially things we wouldn't necessarily be able to put in quite yet. For example, I think some of us have thought, well, it'd be interesting to have, say, a car in there, but I don't think we would have the right away the infrastructure or insurance capabilities to have, say, a car or anything.
Yeah,
like
that might not work.
Yeah, but
not yet. Anyway.
Now, on the east side, I've seen like closed down garden centers. They have large indoor warehouses that are just closed down, shuttered at this point. I think on Packard Avenue. Something like that you could house a lot of stuff in, has access, driveways, parking areas, that kind of stuff too. Again, I don't know what the price would be near the airport, but something like that. Is that kind of the idea of something you might be interested in?
Absolutely, yeah. Probably something, and so far most of our interest has been from the east side. Which would make it very easy for us because we know that there are places like that on the east side that are pretty cheap compared to having to find something downtown. Where also maybe a lot of people are students and just don't really need necessarily the same thing, like especially home improvement tools that you need on the east or west side.
Right.
Well, other than tools and other rental equipment that you would find at like an A to Z rental or something like that, or gardening tools, what other? I mean, is it wide open? And what kind of things you might want to gather so people can borrow them? And like, what's the most unusual thing you've discussed in the steering committee that's come up?
Well, I guess it's been suggested actually on the last show. We're thinking fishing gear.
Oh yeah.
Oh well, that makes
sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about unusual things yet. I think because Library of Things, they just have just such a huge array. I am actually very impressed by the Madison Public Library for having a bird watching kit. I think that's pretty cool.
That is nice.
Bird watching kit.
Yeah, which by the way, as far as I know, not many people have checked that out ever. So, but I hear it's fantastic, so I highly recommend it.
So now, do I understand you and Sam were in school together? Is that
That's right?
Okay.
We both did student radio, but for the most part, we met through a filmmaking class.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're a filmmaker yourself. You're like a big time filmmaker. You've been touring the country with a documentary you made.
Is that right?
Yeah. In 2023, I actually the day after I graduated, I went on tour.
Wow.
So I didn't have any rest. But yeah, I toured this documentary independently to 12 theaters or 13 theaters, 12 states, and yeah, I just I basically just did the whole thing myself, self-financed with the help of a friend, and then we broke even.
Good for you.
What was the documentary about?
It was about my friend Ellen trying to, who's right now actually, as we speak, trying to row around the world.
Wow.
In a rowboat.
Okay.
Oh, wow, that is ambitious.
How do you do that in the ocean?
Yeah, it's pretty hard to do.
Yeah, I bet.
Pick the shortest route to a continent, I suppose.
Yeah, but people have rowed all three oceans, but nobody's ever actually continuously or gone through
all the way
around, say, the Cape of South Africa or anything.
There's
like
a
that,
reason for that. They don't survive.
Yeah.
Talking with Ernan Ballard about the Madison Library of Things. So what is your projected, do you have a plan as far as when you would like to open this up, as far as sometime this summer or sometime soon? Or you've got to find a facility first.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Yeah, I think we would like to just find one as soon as, maybe by the fall, realistically.
Okay.
But as soon as we get that, whatever the magic number is, probably in the hundreds of prospective members, to be able to say, okay, we have say 750 people that are willing to contribute, say $10 a month.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a very low amount that people are willing to contribute, then
Something that occurred to me just as you said that. A lot of people have extra equipment. They've got garages full of stuff that they don't use anymore. They don't know what to do with. Hard to recycle. How to get rid of a chainsaw that they don't need anymore because they've got a battery operated chainsaw. They've gone to batteries instead of the mixed gasoline and oil. Maybe there's a way to plumb that resource, right?
Yeah. And that's one of the appeals for this type of library is that. So say, I think when they opened their first Library of Things, like 80 or 90% of the things that they had in the first year were just free donated.
There you go.
People were like, well, it's been in my garage. It's functional,
Exactly.
but it's been there for years. Nobody's used it.
Yeah.
And, and they hadn't used it really for more than a few times. Like, I remember especially there's a statistic they brought up during that of... the average power drill gets used evidently about 13 minutes in its life.
In its whole life?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Sounds like something Gordy has in his garage.
I haven't touched it in 2 or 3 years, yeah. Well, no, that's true. Yeah, there's plenty of things like that people have just laying around. So if people want to donate or if they want to find out more about what you're setting up here with the Madison Library of Things, how do you suggest they do that? How can they get a hold of you?
Well, go fill out the survey.
Okay.
First.
And how do you do that? What's the site?
It's on madlot.org, madlot.org. Yeah.
Madlot.org.
Easy to remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we also have meetings on the first Thursdays of every month. Right now they're all on Zoom because we're not sure which side we're going to be on yet of the city, but so far on Zoom. Maybe we'll have some at the public library or something like that. But for now, it's online only. And and that's basically where we're trying to, at this stage, just find the people.
So I got a question. You've done a decent bit with cooperative housing in Madison. How does starting a cooperative library like this compare to how cooperative housing is run? And I don't know if you've done stuff with starting new housing cooperatives in town, but how does it compare to that?
Well, I think one thing that's very different is the massive amount of financing needed
For the
start.
housing.
Yeah, it's not like it was in the 70s when some of the other co-ops were started, where you could just squat a place, and it was always non-hierarchical. Now you have to go get out a huge loan and work with the city or something like that, or you have to find like 30 really well-off people with lots of savings to get together. Yeah. So the scale financially is massively different. I think a Library of Things is much more feasible for just lots of regular people to just start. I don't think it's necessarily quite there yet for people to do the same thing with housing. But the great thing is that I think it could be a lot less bureaucratic. We don't really necessarily, and of course, most of the libraries of things in this country are still kind of operating under that like entrepreneur mindset of let's just like find a really rich person, get some like venture capitalist or some loans or some huge grants, and let's spend years doing that, not really finding the people. And we're kind of doing it the other way. Is we're trying to find the people first, and if we can get those people, I think it's going to be much more sustainable long term because we'll know we'll actually have a community ready that wants a Library of Things.
Yeah, excellent. Well, we wish you all the best. I mean, it's a great sounding project. I think there's a need for it, obviously, in Madison. So,
and you're saying that this is available in other countries, Canada and everything, right?
Yeah, and I think ours might resemble more of the Canadian ones. So the term Library of Things is more of a Canadian thing because it's a broad, big base thing. Most of the American ones are tool libraries, you might say, just hardware.
Yeah.
But ours is, you could be musical instruments, film equipment, anything.
Perfect. Yeah.
Hernan Ballard, thanks for coming in. Good luck with the Madison Library of Things. And if people want to find out more, Madlot, that's MADLOT.org.
Yep.
Thanks for visiting with us.
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for being here.
I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad.
Dig this crazy pad. Man, it's a mad pad.
WMDX 92.7 FM, 1580 AM, the John and Gordy Show, broadcasting live from State Street. And this is a big program. This is the huge program. This is the program that will change everybody's life because it is a special edition of the family show.
Oh, it's special, all right. It's episode number 150.
There you go.
Pardon me. The centennial and a half edition. And what an edition it's been. We talked to Hernan, and about the Madison Library of Things. We had Vicki McKenna on earlier.
Yeah, Vicki.
She didn't sound like herself, but it was her.
Many years of drinking and smoking.
Those cigars. If she would just back off on the cigars, I think her voice would sound a lot better.
She drank
just
a
my opinion.
lot of Pepsi.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I want to get to the farm program because, we're big supporters of the farm community in the state. We believe very strongly in the dairy state, America's dairy land. The farmers are fantastic in this state. I think they deserve all of the support, all of the tax cuts and breaks that are necessary, that are given to big business. Forget them.
Well,
support the farmers. We're losing too many dairy farms as it is.
A lot of corporate farms.
Yeah. And they deserve whatever help
farms.
They need. Because I've talked to a few farmers.
I know you have.
And they have up and down years. And some years they, because of the cost of running the farm, they may make a profit, but that profit goes right out the window with upkeep. And, they have to make purchases. So they break even, and sometimes they don't exactly break even.
Yeah.
And so they use some of the programs, social programs. They use Medicaid, which is Badger Care in the state.
Sure.
So there are a lot of things, and they use SNAP, the food stamp program, as well. So the new farm bill, according to the House Republicans, they are cutting. They're going to slash things in the farm bill, especially the SNAP program, which, farmers, a lot of their products go into the SNAP program. Mm-hmm. And one of the people, one of the Democrats supporting this is Representative Jasmine Crockett, making a name for herself. She's out there a lot. She was talking about the opposition to some of the things in the farm bill that she just finds repugnant. And I have cut 162. Let's listen to her way of describing the farm bill.
And when we say things like we're fighting for SNAP benefits, I do want to be clear that me fighting for SNAP benefits isn't about my district. I mean, obviously it is, but at the end of the day, so many members have said, my district, my district, my district, my district, my district. When we write a farm bill, it is for everyone in the United States of America. And just to clarify, when it comes to SNAP benefits specifically, rural America uses more SNAP benefits than urban America. And right now, I serve an urban district. The majority of my Republican colleagues serve rural districts. So when I say that I'm fighting for a bill that includes making sure that people in this country don't go hungry, I'm not saying that just to say that this is about Texas 30. I'm saying that to say that this is about all of us. So I am not just fighting for my constituents, I'm fighting for yours too.
There you go. Mm-hmm. Standing up for the farmers, standing up for rural communities and the small communities that need all of the help they can possibly get to keep their health centers open, the farmers getting the food stamps that they need, and certainly, some of the health care that they'll certainly need if they have a bad year or a down year.
Yeah, the SNAP program, as was mentioned there, more people in the rural communities use it than in the cities.
Urban areas, yeah.
Yeah, the SNAP stands for Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program.
Right.
It's just SNAP is. They used to actually have food stamps. There was a booklet with stamps in them, and you had to haul it out at the grocery store. And
now it's just a card.
Yeah, it's just a card, but
electronic.
Yeah, but yeah.
You can tell that a lot of the megas don't pay attention to the policies because there aren't any policies that they're proposing. But when they do have bills with policy items in it, they're always cutting the policies.
Well, especially if it's a social program for the needy.
Yes, because they always consider it a government handout.
Yeah.
And it makes people dependent on the government. That's not true. That is absolutely not true. These are the people who've been rejected by capitalism or affected by capitalism.
And many of them, or most of them, are working. They're just working poor.
Yes, the working poor as well. Yeah, so it's really important. And we have Jasmine Crockett out there from Texas speaking out in support of the rural communities. And I think Democrats really do support the rural communities so much more than the Republicans. And it's simple. They don't want to provide handouts. And that's the only excuse they have for abandoning and helping these people in the rural communities get what they need, like high-speed internet.
High-speed internet. A lot of hospitals and clinics are starting to close down because they can't get the funding or the nurses or the doctors to come out to the rural communities. And it's tough all the way around.
I got a list here. Who has solutions to America's greatest needs as a growing nation? I'll pass this along. Okay. Democrats are for universal health care. Republicans are against affordable prescription drugs. They were against that. Republicans against that. It's wake me. I must be having a nightmare.
A nightmare, yeah.
Universal pre-K. Republicans against that. Women's rights, obviously. Voting rights. Child tax credits. Common sense gun reform. Vaccination mandates when it's necessary during a pandemic. Minimum wage increases. Tax increases on the wealthy. Protecting the environment. No-brainer.
The list goes on and on.
Family paid leave, immigration reform, tax breaks for the wealthy. We're against. Controlling a woman's body, we're against that. And easy access to guns, we're against that.
Yeah.
The agenda is so clear that it's hard to imagine to be anywhere near a Republican polling place or a polling place, period, voting for Republicans or the MAGA party.
Yeah.
There aren't any Republicans anymore. It's a MAGA party.
It is, and that's the story. I mean, it's just differences couldn't be more drastic,
more stark.
Yeah,
it's just ridiculous.
Hey, that is going to wrap it up for the John and Gordy Family Show, the 150th edition. But we will be back bright and early tomorrow morning, and Rocker will be here with a Max Inc. preview. We hope you have a wonderful day.
I hope we get another call from Vicky sometime in the not too distant future.
So long.
Gordy in the morning. As we were saying, let the sun shine. Is the John